And hello, good morning, afternoon, evening to the internets and the YouTubes. How's everybody doing? Welcome to my very first Creation Kit stream. I have no idea what the hell I'm even doing. Didn't we just do this dance last night? God, you guys, 10 of you here already? Damn. Show up and show up to see a blank screen? You guys must have absolutely nothing better to do. Fair word of warning, guys. I've been up for about 3 hours now. Had breakfast, into my third carafe of French press coffee, and I still feel like I'm asleep. I'm probably going to stammer and stutter and trip over my words more than I usually do, so expect a lot of words and sentences that don't make any sense. Let's see. Who the hell we got here? I saw Jade River popped in and out. Andre Pinto, hello, sir. How you doing? Adama in the house. Nihano konnichiwa. Nani? Fallout Addict. Hello, my friend. Adama says, when you did that test an hour ago, I was falling asleep. No, you know what happened with that? I'm the one that was asleep. I set up the stream, scheduled the event, and then I had set up a test, because I always test about an hour or so before I go live. I activated the wrong damn stream. I meant to activate my test stream. I activated the one I set up for the live event. So I had to delete that and make a new one. So it wasn't you. It's all me. Let's see. Who else do I have? V8 Motor. Hello. Henry Wilson. Hello. Let's see. Andre Pinto. Good sir. Curious to know what's going to happen here. Well, I figure we just sit here and look at my blank Creation Kit stream for about a half an hour. No. I'm going to do just a quick, I have an update to one of my mods I'm going to do. And I've been asked to do Creation Kit streams on and off since I started streaming. And I thought this would be a good thing to kind of get my feet wet and see how it works out. I have a quick little change to make to my Fizztop Grille Enhancements mod. So we'll do that. And go and test that out in game, and that's pretty much going to be it. It's not going to be a long stream. I've got to get this wrapped up before noon my time, 12 o'clock p.m. here on the east coast of the US of A, or USSA as I like to call it. So it's going to be a short stream. We're not going to do anything too heavy-handed, just kind of chill, because there's no way I can do anything this morning that requires too much brain power. Paul Stead, hello. So we've got 16 people with nothing better to do than come up and look at a blank Creation Kit screen. You guys, wow, you guys are awesome. I think before I jump into that, I kind of was looking through my stuff here. In case you guys have never seen this before, this is essentially what you load a mod into the Creation Kit with. I was looking through my stuff here earlier. I kind of wanted to take a look at some of these. I've got two. Is it this one? And this one. There's two mods that I pretty much abandoned projects. I kind of wanted to go take a quick peek at those. I thought maybe you guys would like to see those. A couple things I was working on ages ago. Looks like the last time I worked on this was June or July. June 2nd. So these are just a couple of mods that I never finished. A couple player homes. Figure, take a look at those. Give other people a chance to show up if they have nothing better to do. And then we'll jump into the main of this. So this would be like the previews. This is, you go to a theater, you get the previews, you have to sit through those, do a couple of previews of movies you probably will never see, and then we'll jump into the main feature. So this was going to be, let's see, active file. So this one is was going to be volume 6 of my Better Homes and Bunkers series, and I was originally going to do like a mini vault outside the Red Rocket. Kind of like along the lines, the original intent was to do something along the lines of the mini hideout that I'm using for my Fallout 3 character that I've been doing on the live streams. That awesome little vault in Springvale outside of Megaton. And it kind of growed. It exploded. It exploded really bad. And it became this monstrosity that I just got fed up with. And didn't get very far. I basically just had the vault laid out, or bunker, but it's using vault pieces, and just kind of abandoned it. And been thinking about getting back into it. It's not going to be at the Red Rocket. I have no idea where it's going to be, but take a quick look at that, and maybe it'll give me some motivation to kind of get started with it again. So I hope everybody's doing well. Thanks for everybody for stopping in and hanging out. Yeah, I really didn't know if I was going to do this today or not, and I figured, why not? What the hell? And yes, the Creation Kit does take a little bit of time to load things, even on a pretty good computer like mine. It has to load all the game assets. So, and any DLCs that you have activated as masters, the more things that it has to load and have access to, the longer it takes. So it looks like we are here. And if I remember what the hell cell this is, I have my second monitor going here. Let me drag some of these things over here so you guys can see what we're doing. So this is, a lot of you guys probably have never seen the Creation Kit loaded up before. So this is the cell view. I usually have all this stuff over on a second monitor so I can have this whole area to work on. These are the cells in the game. And anything with an asterisk beside it is either something that's new or basically something that's modified from the base game. So if you scroll through, these are all the interior cells for the game. And which DLCs do I have loaded? So right now I have Far Harbor DLC Coast, DLC Workshop 2, which is Contraptions, and Nuka World, because I had planned on using... Oh, and Automatron. So I planned on using assets from all of those. So this is the cell list, and the one we're going to look at here is the Mini Vault. And I always put a 0 on the front of my cells so that they show up at the top of the editor list, so I don't have to scroll through and find them. And select any cell, and it will give you a list of all the references in that cell, whether it's a marker, a light source, everything that gets put into that cell is listed there. And we'll load this up. This shouldn't take too long to load up because there's really nothing in it. Move that out of the way. And this is it. This was supposed to be the mini vault. There's nothing mini about it. It kind of mushroomed to about 4 times the size that I wanted it to be. And I realized, yeah, this is way too big, and I kind of lost interest in it. So if I start it up again, it's going to be probably about half the size as it is now. So the intent is that this was going to be a cave. It's going to be the inside of a cave, and you either come down to it either through an elevator or some other sort of load door. There'll be a big cave here with a industrial catwalk type structure up to the main door here. And there was going to be some mechanism to open up the door, either unlock it somehow. I haven't quite figured it out yet. And this would be the first thing you walk into. I mean, it's using the standard vault piece, the vault kit pieces, but I am not a fan of the color scheme, the palette that they use for the Fallout 4 Fallout 4 vault pieces. I'm telling you, I'm told you, I'm gonna be. I can't English today. I can't do words. I'm not a fan of the color palette that they use for the vaults in Fallout 4. I think they look very play school, kind of like baby's first vault. So every single piece of a vault kit that I'm using here, I've applied material swaps to. Kind of make them look a lot more beat up, old school, because I really like the look and feel of the vaults in 3 in New Vegas. They just look like they've been around for 200 years. And I just like that dark, dingy color palette. So kind of replicating this here. Andy S., hello. Adama says, I was going to do Valentine's Agency this morning, but it seemed to be too much like public occurrences, so I decided against it. Well, you don't have to make it that way. You can always, you always have a great way of putting your own spin on things, so don't let that stop you. Use different mods. That's one way to change things up a bit. There's always new mods coming out to try. So I didn't know what this was going to be. It's just kind of the entranceway. If I were to do this, I'd probably put the crafting benches in here. And then you would come into this little hallway here, when that branches off to go this way. And this would be like a kitchen area. Looking outside, there'd be a bit of cave space out there, like it was mined out, and you look outside. And actually, my first thought was kind of do a Mr. Handy, like a valet vendor kind of thing. You can come in and buy stuff from him. He'd be hanging out in here. And this hallway would branch downstairs, down a flight of stairs. And on this side would be like a medical bay with an auto dock, which I don't think I actually have the script on this yet. Okay, I just got the script to auto close the door after 8 seconds, it looks like. So there'd be an auto dock here, and this would be like a bathroom area probably. Assuming I was going to put a shower here. But all these pieces are should have custom. yeah, I put my my own material swaps on these to make them look different from the vanilla. And I think this was going to be... Yeah, this was originally going to be power, armor, stations, and crafting. But I think I'd lose this room here. I don't need it. If I was going to put the crafting up here, I think the cave area, it would kind of make sense to put the power armor stations out there. I think that would be a lot better than coming in through the house with your power armor and dragging mud through half the place. Just leave it all outside. Take your boots off before you come in the house, kids. Looks like these were probably going to be bedrooms. 3 bedrooms, which I don't think I need 3. And a big old living room lounge area here with another view out to the cave. I don't really have any, I don't have too many lights in here yet. Yeah, I just have some default lights just so I could jump there and in-game and make sure I had all the walls sealed and everything. So that's as far as that one got. And I ran out of ideas where to want to put it. Fallout for Dummies, hey! I was hoping you could make it today. It's not going to be exciting or anything. It's just going to be a quick little CK stream, but glad you can make it. And Paul says, enjoyed watching your new video series. I've started another playthrough, all modded. I'm playing on PS4. Have you released any mods for PS4? No. Unfortunately, I don't do console mods. I don't have any consoles. I don't play on console. And given the restrictions on PS4, all my mods have external assets. So that would be a big no-go on the PS4. So unfortunately, none of my stuff is on for the PS4 because you can't do custom meshes, you can't do textures, and my mods are loaded with all that stuff. So that's that one. I was kind of thinking maybe, I don't know where this would go. I've got some ideas in mind, but I don't know that I'm ever gonna. No trouble, Paul. By all means, ask any questions that you have. Answer the best I can, given my current state of not having enough coffee, apparently, to form complete sentences. So that's that. I was thinking, actually, was thinking that Far Harbor needed a house on the west side of the map because there's really nothing over there. If I pared this down, I was thinking maybe something in Far Harbor. The lighthouse was at Kensington Lighthouse, Kingston Lighthouse there. In Commonwealth could probably actually that would probably be a good Kingsport Lighthouse. I'm having problems with the words, like I said. Kingsport Lighthouse. I was thinking maybe there, but I may never actually get back to this one. So, and the other one we can take a quick look at is one I actually started. This could go under the Red Rock at the Mole Rat Den. That's actually where it was initially going to be. It was initially going to be a Red Rocket mod. And I opted against it because it just got too big. I wanted, if I was going to do a Red Rocket, it wouldn't be this big. This is just too big for that space. So what I ended up falling back on, I actually wanted to use this for my Let's Play series, but I just abandoned it and just ended up using one of Eleanor's mods that I moved the load door to. This was, no, that's the one we just opened up. Give me 1 second here, guys. This one. Like Eleanor did for the Red Rocket, she turned the interior, she made an interior cell player home for that. That's what I was actually was going to do on this. And, are you building a vault? Andy says. No. Well, I'm eventually going to do a vault-themed mod. I don't know when. This is probably, it's hardly going to be built off the one I was just showing off here. Full vault, probably not. It's going to be too big. I can't do the great big grandiose 14-room ones anymore. They're just too much work. There's just way too much work. And I'm much more a fan of, I think of my ones that I've done for myself, my favorite ones are the smaller, cozier ones, like the I still like the Cambridge Bungalow. To me, that's one of my favorites. There's a lot of things I would do differently in that one, but that's the size I like. I like small houses. Big ones like the Good Neighbor Condo and the Coastal Cottage Bunker. I love those, but they're just too big. There's only so much I can do with them. So my second thought for Red Rocket was kind of do what Eleanor did for her. Was it Rockin' Red Rocket? Let's turn it into an interior cell home. So this is actually the interior cell. So I cleaned up the outside. I got rid of all the rubble and debris. Would plan on rebuilding the pre-combines out there. The Red Rocket, in case you guys have never seen the mesh for that, is actually, this is actually 2 pieces. And I don't know why the hell they did it this way, but the main building, the archway that supports the roof, the rocket, and the gas pumps, they're all one mesh, which is why you can't scrap any of this stuff. And even if you want to do a cleanup of the exterior, these are attached to the mesh. So you actually have to make a brand new mesh like the Mount Arthur Trotsky did. He broke these apart and built it so you can actually scrap these. And TC Games is here. Hello, my man. Make up my mind. How you doing? And, oh, Colin's here. Hey, Colin, how you doing? Good to see you. Everybody's here. This is awesome. 25 of you guys with nothing better to do on a Saturday than hear me blabber about meshes in the CK. This is awesome. And there would be a lot of blabbering because I'm completely brain dead at the moment. So essentially this was just going to be, let me turn the markers on here. As far as I got with this was getting the load doors set up. I just turned them into basically static doors on the exterior. And so those would be, I think I actually have part of this nav meshed. Yes. Just nav meshed enough to test the load doors and make sure that the companions would be able to follow me inside. So this was going to be the living room here. That's kind of what I was thinking. The way I did the Red Rocket in Sebastian's live stream playthrough is kind of what I was envisioning this to be. But I did it with, workshop stuff. But I retextured the walls. Changed up the floor a little bit. And let's see. This was going to be the bedroom, or actually this is going to be a bathroom area. Probably put, my first infirmary and a chem station in there. And then downstairs in this little basement area was going to be the bed, which that's just a placeholder. I'm not going to, wouldn't be using that bed. And, yeah, probably like living room area, kitchen area over here, kitchen dining area. And that was pretty much it. But that's as far as I got. I pretty much gave up on this one because I never use the Red Rocket anymore. I haven't done... Red Rocket to me is only useful if you're doing a Vault 111 start, if you're starting in that part of the map. And I don't think I'll ever do a vanilla start ever again. I've done enough of them. And if you're starting, like if you're using Start Me Up, starting in the southern part of the map, you don't really spend a whole lot of time up at the Red Rocket area, so I may or may not get back to this. Or actually, maybe I could use it for another Red Rocket someplace else. There's plenty of other Red Rockets that could stand from having a little safe house. So that's one option. I haven't decided if I'm actually going to do anything with this one yet, but yeah, that's it. So those are the preview of potential coming attractions. It's probably time to jump into the main feature. Let's see. How do you... I was going to see... catch up on chat here. Colin says, rare Saturday off. Don't know what to do else himself while I eat breakfast. Well, if you got nothing better to do, then this is the place to be. I'm glad you could make it. This isn't, like I said, I don't know if you guys were here early. This isn't going to be a very long stream because I got to wrap this up by noon my time to get some other stuff done today. So I think we're just going to jump into getting the Fizztop Grille Enhancements mod loaded. In let's see. And Andy was asking how to transfer your house to Fallout 4 that you have done. If you're talking about a settlement to Fallout 4, if you are on PC, you can use transfer settlements like TC Games said. Missing words here again. Transfer settlements. You can do a blueprint of a settlement, and you can transfer that over another character. And let's see. Does anyone know the name of the Red Rocket mod that makes the vanilla one load into load screen our player home? If you're talking about the Red Rocket and Sanctuary Diamond, that would be Eleonora did one of those. I don't know if there's one for PS4. I don't know that she did one for PS4 because her PC one has a ton of custom assets. So maybe that would be the one. That's the only one I know of anyway. Actually, somebody on the Nexus did turn when there's a Red Rocket in... Actually, this would be a good... There's a Red Rocket in Fort Hagen that somebody turned into a player home. There's one down in Cambridge That's just one of the, it's basically just the little, it's like the single room one that you see. There's one over in Cambridge and there's one in Quincy. Having brain seizures here. I can't remember where the other ones are. So I'm going to actually, we'll go ahead and open up Fizztop Grille Enhancements. Oh, did I? I didn't set it as active file. All right. Andre, good live stream, 1080p 60. That's the only way to fly, Andy. That's the only way to fly. Ever since I got my new rig set up, I'm able to do 1060 or 1080p 60 with no difficulties. So, got the power, might as well use it. Let's see. So yeah, we'll give this a second here. So I think what we'll do is I'll load the cell up, kind of give you guys a rough idea. All I'm doing is adding a magazine rack. It's nothing exciting at all. And if you guys are familiar with the Fizztop Grille Enhancements mod, it's something I did a while back. It's kind of one of my older mods. And this is the right one. I did a revamp of it sometime last year. Look at the cell to load up here. Did a revamp of it last year. I know it was like maybe a year ago. When was this? Oh, okay, it was October, so it really wasn't all that long ago. Kind of rebuilt did a lot more enhancements. Somebody on the Nexus on the mod page suggested adding a magazine rack. And I never even considered that because I have been using my Overboss Hideaway mod, which I have 2 magazine racks in that. And thought, you know, magazine rack's a pretty damn good idea. You get the, was it 4 or 5 scav magazines in Nuka World? And I just didn't know where the hell I was going to put it, and kind of never gave it a second thought until last weekend. I was actually playing on an old character and brought her to Nuka World. And came into the Fizztop Grille and look, oh damn, there's a spot right here next to the Nuka recipe book rack. That'll be just peachy to put a magazine rack on, or in. So that's what we're going to do. But I think what I'd like to do first is, let's go take a look at the cell in-game. In case you guys have never, some of you guys may have never seen the mod before. We'll take a look at it first, the way the mod is right now. And then we'll go ahead and add that magazine rack. Go through a little bit of my process. Now, I did regenerate pre-combines for the cell because I did a lot of changes. I completely redid the bathroom. It was basically 2 men's room and a woman's room. Made that into 1. Added a working shower with, gives you an a +2 charisma boost for 8 hours. And all those disabled items are all down there. Those are disabled and moved well below ground level. Got rid of all these stupid animatronic things. And regenerated the pre-combine, so gonna have to make sure I don't mess those up when we go and add this magazine rack. But what I want to do first is I'm going to jump into the game. We'll load up that cell. I'm going to switch sources here real quick. The screen will probably go black. The background music will stop. But we'll still be here, I hope. Let's get the game a second to set up. I'm going to COC into that cell from the main menu. We'll go take a look at that. And then we'll go back and add our happy little magazine rack. Let's see. Let's catch up on chat real quick here. TC Game says, cool, you should see me make a block in 3ds Max. That's that's about my yeah, that's about my capacity in 3ds Max. I've opened up plenty of vanilla meshes and edited them, but to make something from scratch, I gotta do that. And I really want to get the 2013 version that is what you need to use the official tools with, but let's see. TC Game says, why can't you remove them? Are you talking about the vanilla, the references, the things I disabled and moved? You don't want to delete them. You do not want to delete vanilla references. That is a very bad thing to do. Something I made mistakes on early on. Let's jump into the... essentially, you don't want to remove... don't want to delete vanilla references, because if somebody else has a mod or something else that references something you've deleted, your game is likely to crash. And it's just not a good idea. They're disabled, the game still reads them as being there, and if something references them, it just won't render. They'll still be there, they'll still take up VRAM, which it's, you know, people say, oh, just delete them, it's no problem. It's a problem. Never delete a vanilla reference. And the other thing is, you don't know if it's tied to, it could be tied to a, it could be tied to a script, a quest. You just really, just outright deleting something is not what you want to do. Alright, so we want DLC 04, Fizztop, Grille. Where is it? Hang on a second. I gotta switch back. Now I can't remember how the cell is set up here. Hub Fizztop Grille 1. I always make this mistake. Let's see. So, what I'm doing, in case you guys have never seen this before, if you're making a mod and you want to give it a quick test, you just want to jump into any cell in the game, you load up the main, you come to the main menu, and you can just open the console and COC into the cell right from here, and that's what we're going to do. COC, DLC 04, Hub, Fizztop, Grille 01. And I think that should do it. And what this does, it spawns you into the cell with an unarmed level 1 character, just a basic template, Nate character, with no inventory, basically no special skills. It's a really good way just to jump in your game and do a quick test. Let's see. Paul Stead says, speaking of magazines, you missed the Commando magazine in the locked room. Livia's last night's... Oh, and, nope, no trouble. I'll probably go back and get that. Thanks. Yeah, I think by that point in the stream, I was definitely fading, so I'm not surprised I missed it. Thanks for the reminder. I'll definitely go back and get that. Actually went over last night after the stream and got that power armor. So brought that over to Starlight, and it spawned as T51, which I was pretty happy with. And Andy S. wants to know what I think about Fallout 76. I don't think about Fallout 76. Leave it at that. I don't think about Fallout 76 at all, other than it's nothing I have any interest in playing. So let's head on up. And Adama says, I screwed around Diamond City this morning. Accidentally picked up all the stadium in the south entrance to crash my game. Yep. That's what'll happen. That's a big oops. If you want, when we get, at some point, we can actually go take a look at that cell, and you can see how that looks, see exactly what you did. The castle is another thing like that, too. You got to be careful with what you scrap, because a lot of those things are all one mesh. Like, I think the castle walls and part of the rubble, the debris, are all part of the same mesh. And I think it was a pretty poor design choice. I can understand why they did it, but it just, I'll get into a rant on the whole pre-combined system, and I don't want to do that right now. So this is Fizztop Grille with the Enhancements mod active, and we are going to put our happy little magazine rack right here next to the display, the recipe book display. Here's the bathroom, and I'm not sure how this is going to look on the stream because it's so dark in here. Oh yeah, I do not have my Pip-Boy flashlight mod active. The only mod I have active pretty much is the mod, but since I have my Pip-Boy light turned to white, that's why it's so bright. And Dom says, scrap the castle, 3-4 pre-combines, it's small. Yeah, and the thing with the castle is, if you disable pre-combines there, you'll notice that anything you place into the floors is going to sink through. Because the way that the castle's set up, if you disable pre-combines, those floors lose the keyword that lets the floors act like floors. So if you're in the castle and the pre-combines are disabled, you go to put something onto the floor, they're going to sink through. So, and that's a way that you can tell the pre-combines are disabled in a cell. Two other examples of that I can think of off the top of my head are the house at County Crossing and the house County Crossing? I think County Crossing does it. The house at Somerville Place and the house at 10 Pines Bluff. Those little houses, the ruins of the houses, if your pre-combines are disabled, you will not be able to place anything on the floor of those. And I think the ruins of the house at Nordhagen Beach. Because those are static collections, and when the pre-combines get generated, somehow the keyword that allows you to place items onto a floor gets applied to the static collection. And when the pre-combines get disabled, that not only will you not be able to change, you're not will be able to place anything, but the colors will actually change because the material swaps get broken. So that's kind of a clue. Another thing you can do is if you're in a cell and you suspect pre-combines are broken. If you're on PC, you unfortunately can't do this on consoles. Pop open the console, do TPC, which I'm pretty sure stands for toggle pre-culling, and pre-culling is now disabled. You see that there. Basically what this does is turn off the previs system, previsibility, which what that is once you generate pre-combines, the game goes ahead and you have to generate the previsibility files. This is kind of a bonehead explanation of it. Previs files basically make it so that the game doesn't render what can't be seen. So if you have anything, like if you go downtown, all the buses, the trucks, the rubble, everything that's kind of pushed underground level, it won't render what you can't see. And if there's something in a building, like behind a wall that you can't see, it's not going to render that, and that helps with the frame rates. So by doing this command, I basically turned off previs. So right now, it's going to render everything. And if you just use the command again, you'll get pre-culling is now enabled. Which, let's see, Paul says, gotta run, we'll catch the video later. Hey Paul, thanks for stopping in. Appreciate it. Is the mods command not working again? I see how Dama's doing mods, and that was the most popular command last night, and I just think it's not working, so I'm not really sure what the hell happened. I'll have to look into that. Nightbot's being annoying again. So anyway, what I was bantering about here, if you're in a cell where pre-combines are disabled, you'll get this message, but right after it, it will say, but have not been enabled for this area. Because what happens, the pre-combines and the previs are kind of, they work in conjunction with each other. If pre-combines are disabled, pre-culling or previs is going to be disabled. So if you're in a cell and the pre-combines are disabled, you can't re-enable the pre-culling or the previs, and that's basically what's going to happen. So that is, that's kind of a crash course on that. So that's basically what we're going to do here. We're going to add that happy little... Everything in here? Yeah. Can I turn this on? Yeah. So we're just going to add a magazine rack. And that's going to be pretty much that. And quit out of that. Let me switch sources here. And forgive the blank screen. Okay. So I think we're back. So, here we are back in the CK. And one of the first times I did anything in the CK and then jumped into the game to look at it, it's like, and you see, it's kind of the first time you do something and you jump into the game and see it first time, it's pretty cool. It just took me weeks to wrap my head around that, wow, I can actually make a change in the game and then go and see it. There's nothing like the first time, baby. I think my coffee's getting cold. Yeah, I was just saying, TC, thanks, World Gone Mad. Yeah, World Gone Mad, sorry if you're still here. Nightbot tends to be a little aggressive sometimes. I'm still kind of tweaking the settings, so I don't mind all caps, and I have no idea what the Nightbot settings are. Excessive all caps, or, you know, I don't know what the settings are. So if you only had a few and Nightbot gave you the boot, I apologize. I don't think it's set for very long. And Colin says, cold coffee unacceptable. Yeah, it's kind of borderline right now. It's getting to be to the warm phase, which is where it gets to be undrinkable for me. So before I just go and drag this magazine rack in, let's take a look at something here first. Now, like I said, I don't want to muck around with my pre-combines that I have set up for this cell. I drag my layers palette over here, and essentially what I've done is I got into the habit. It only took me about 15 or 16 mods to do this. I started adding layers for pretty much everything. The DLC04, that's a vanilla layer. I started putting things like light boxes, my light sources, NPC markers, that kind of stuff on their own layers, because if you turn on the layers, or turn on the markers rather, you can kind of see pretty quick how it's damn near impossible to go and edit anything without touching one of these. Now, the white things are called light boxes, and they basically will contain a light source to a specific area. If you're doing a settlement build, you probably noticed how you say you build a house, and you put a light source in the first floor, but it bleeds up to the second floor. That's just the game engine. There's no way for you to control that in workshop mode. It's just the way the game works. It just works. But in the Creation Kit, you can actually control where light sources are displayed with a light box. And essentially, it just contains the light for that source within the bounds of this box. And you basically have to link a light source to it. And that's what all these are. They're for the candles, for the actual light sources. I think I put one on for this barrel, the light on this barrel, because I didn't want the light bleeding into the bathroom here. So those are on their own layer. And if you come over here to the V is for visible. Now, if you guys have ever used Photoshop or GIMP, the layers work in the same way. Exact same way as those programs. Yep. Fallout Addict says it just works. Let's see. So we'll turn off the light boxes, and bam, those are gone. And what do we got here? The effects, yes. The effects layer. All these big black crosses, those are things, let's see, like the dust markers. I turn on the light, simulate the lighting here. You see all the dust and fog? Those are effects layers, and the black crosses will define where their radius is. Those are a real pain in the ass if you're in a cell like this with a lot of them. So you want those on their own layer. You just click the eyeball, bam, those are gone. What else do I got here? So I have all my the NPC markers I've added. We're going to get rid of those. The nav cuts I'm going to leave on for now. What nav cuts are basically along the lines of a collision marker. Since this cell has the vanilla nav mesh, I didn't touch the vanilla nav mesh other than to add it to the new areas where I added here in the bathroom. Turn the nav mesh on. Now, I didn't touch any of this over here. I just basically added this new part to the bathroom, connected it to the vanilla nav mesh. So what I did, because I didn't want the NPCs walking into this corner here and you know, getting stuck on this thing. This is essentially a collision marker that acts as, it's called the nav cut. And essentially what it does is the game reads this as basically an absence of nav mesh. So I call it the poor man's way of modifying the vanilla nav mesh. Sometimes it works great, sometimes it works okay. So that's all this is, and all I'm going to do is we're going to extend that over the magazine rack when we get it put there. So, and I've used that in cells where I don't want to mess around with the vanilla nav mesh, because sometimes it's more trouble than it's worth. But if I add something I don't want NPCs to get stuck on, I'll add a nav cut marker, and that seems to do the trick. My Adam Cat's crib, the entire outside of that, all the work, the little area there with the power armor stations, that has nav cuts all over it, and that seems to work pretty well. Occasionally, I'll get to one of the NPC, like the adventurers or the hunters from NPC's Travel, try and walk into the building. I mean, literally right through it. But 9 times out of 10, they'll path the way that it's intended with the nav cut markers. Hey, Hentai Girl, how the hell are you? Will you add more bonus function to your player home in the future, like the +2 charisma shower? Maybe. It depends. I'm taking a break from modding. This is just a quick little update. I don't know if you were here earlier. I showed a couple of abandoned projects that I kind of halted work on. So maybe the trouble with those is the more stuff I add, the longer it takes to test and the more complicated they get. And the last one I did, even though the courier stations, even though there were 8 cells, they were just the cells. There wasn't really any scripting involved in those. And those are actually a lot more fun to make than things that have all the features. Not that I don't like doing it. It's just a lot more testing. And, well, you know, feel lighter after take a shit plus 2 agility for a few hours. Or, you know, you can lose adjust your carry weight for 2 hours. Maybe that's something. I like the agility bonus, though. That should be a thing. So, I think what I'm going to do, kind of getting back to the whole layers thing, I don't want to mess up my pre-combines. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lock all... Actually, that's active. A is active, which is the active layer we're going to add stuff to. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to lock all these other layers here. Now, in any other application, it's going to be called lock, like Photoshop, Illustrator, GIMP, any other program that uses layers, that's referred to as lock. For some reason, Bethesda chose to go with F for freeze, but you're locking things. Once these are locked, you can't interact with anything on these layers. I can't touch the walls, I can't touch the floors. I don't have to worry about breaking anything. And I actually have the nav cut locked. So now... There we go. There's my gizmo. The nav cut and the things on this disable for pre-combines layer are the only things that I can interact with. And if I close these off, you can see what is actually on that layer. And there's certain reasons why you may want to exclude certain static items from being sucked into a pre-combine. So all these items here on this layer, I set those to initially disable before I generated the pre-combines. For various reasons, a lot of these were meshes that I modified in 3ds Max. And I kind of did it the poor man's way by exporting them out with the open source, what the hell is it called? The Figment tools, rather than the official Bethesda tools, because I don't have the version of 3ds Max that those work with. So long story short, I was a little concerned that there might be some issues with these getting pulled into a pre-combine. So I just set them on their own layer. I set everything to initially disabled, which you can do. Another little trick here. You can zoom out, drag across, select everything. So all those items now in that layer are selected. You hit the dash key. That opens up the batch action window, and everything you have selected shows up here. And then you can come here and sit initially disabled. Hit do, which will set everything you have selected to initially disabled. Re-enable everything else, hide this layer, generate your pre-combines, and these don't get touched by that. And then when you're done with your generation, you do everything in reverse. And you come back and you select everything, you come back in here, and you set that flag defaults. I'm not going to do that now. Another example of why you would want that. Actually, let's turn these all back on here. Nope, I don't want that. I don't want that. Nope. Hang on a second. That one. Okay. And light boxes. Another example of why you would want to disable that stuff. Let's say you have a bunch of static magazines. Are we here? Oh, I should have filtered first. If you hit static without anything filtered, it takes forever because it has to go through everything. What is high poly? Nope. High. There we go. So these are all static items for all the skill books. And you don't see these in the game except if you pick one up, you get that preview window that makes the sound, the dung, and gives you the description of what it is. What the hell is that called? There's a name for that window, and I can't. Featured item window. The featured item window, same thing you get when you pick up a legendary. These are what you see. These there are high poly, high res textures because you're not picking them up in the world. The ones that you pick up in the world on a desk or table or whatever, those are completely different mesh, much lower polygon count. Take a look at these. The problem with these, if you're generating pre-combines, is they all have custom material swaps. Essentially, a material swap is if you start out with a base mesh. So we'll take this Awesome Tales Volume 1. You look at the original material and the replacement material. These are the original materials that this comes with. Now, if you look at one of the other ones, and basically what the custom material swap does, actually, if we look at, let's go to Guns and Bullets. Look at the material swap for this, and you'll see that the original is Awesome Tales 1, but it's being replaced by Guns and Bullets. And this was done here on the mesh level. So if somebody opened up, they probably made a duplicate of the, and this is what I've done in the past. You duplicate the original mesh, you rename your copy, and you come here and make the material swap. You can do this on the actual, at the model level, the model data window. The way you should do it, or the way you can do it, this is okay for some things, but I'll explain why you don't want to do that for statics in a second. If you come over to the material swaps, and this is actually a record. So you can start off with a vanilla material file here. This is actually a material file, basically has a record of the textures that the game's supposed to load. And you can tell it every time you get a reference that uses this material swap, change this material to this one. It's kind of like doing a an on-the-fly switch. So this way, you don't have to make a special mesh for it. My refrigerator, and I hope this is making sense. I don't know if I'm explaining it as well as I probably could be. This is just a vanilla refrigerator. Of course, I locked it. So let's, where's my... I'm so used to having everything on another layer here, or another screen. Yeah. So this is just a vanilla refrigerator. Just dragged it out of the object window. And if you come over to the Extras tab, this is my custom material swap that I just showed you. If I'm not going to do it now because I don't want to record that change in the mod. But if I were to change this to none, it would just revert to that that vanilla. I think it's like that tan, rusty texture. So the problem with doing, let's jump back to the problem with using custom material swaps on the mesh level, like we just looked at these magazines here. Let's swap back over to this. So if you were to take all these amazing, let's go, give me 1 second here. Look at this one. So if you were to take all these amazing, awesome, Amazing Tales magazines, put them on a table in a cell, just drag these out of the object window into your cell, regenerate the precombines, you jump into the game. They'll look fine in the creation kit, but you'll jump into the game, and they'll all have the same cover. You'll have 15 of these. Because when you regenerate precombines, these get broken. Custom material swaps added in this field, the model data, those break. So if you just drag all 14, 15 of these out, do your precombines, go in, you'll have 15 of the same magazine where you thought you would have all different ones. So that's why some cases you want to exclude static objects from being put into a precombine. And I probably wasted 10 minutes explaining that, when it probably is a lot simpler than that. But so that's essentially why I have some things on that layer. And you'll also notice it in with some certain vanilla furniture. Let's jump over here. If you go to the Furniture tab, and let's go to, is it the high-tech chair? Nope, not that one. The round chair. Yes. All right, so we've got this high-tech chair. It's called the high-tech chair round dirty. You guys have all seen this. This is actually a piece of furniture you can sit on. But if you come over to the data, this has a custom material swap applied to it. The base material file is for the clean, and they've come in and they've done a custom material swap on that. Now this will actually, even though this is considered furniture, it's not actually a static item, the custom swap will break when you regenerate precombines. And I found that out in my Subway Safe House mod. The chair that I used for the barber in there was actually supposed to, I think it's the barber chair, was supposed to be the dirty one, But after I regenerated the pre-combines, it reverted to the clean, which is fine. At that point, I didn't really care. It's not going to, you know, game's still playable, mod's still useful. So, but there's certain cases where I've found that vanilla furniture is on its own layer and is excluded from a pre-combine, even like the static ones. So that's why we did that. So probably, you know, dragging a 10-minute procedure into half an hour, because I'm good at that kind of thing. Let's turn that off. So I have everything else locked here. I'm trying to catch up on cat here. Let's see on cat. Yeah. Oh my god, guys, I'm so out of it right now. Let's see. Halstead is laughing. I'm probably slurring my words or stuttering over things. Zyra says, love watching Creation Kit videos. Well, I hope you love watching this one. This is my first time doing one of these. And, let's see. What else we got here? Gail Heather Kondo. Hello. Welcome to the stream. Good to hear you. Yeah, Colin says better heat that coffee up. You know what? I think that's probably a good... Let's take a quick break here. I've been going for an hour now, bantering and babbling. Let me go warm up my coffee. Take a quick bio break. And I'll come back. We'll add our magazine rack. Do what we got to do here and go do some testing. So, give me just a couple minutes, guys. You guys go, yeah, fading fast. It's not even, it's going to be a long day at this point. I'm into my third carafe of coffee here, so it doesn't look good. Just a quick break, guys. I'll be back with a fresh coffee, and we'll see what... Hentai Girl, it is 11 a.m. my time. I'm on the east coast of the U.S., so it's only 11 o'clock my time. I've been up for 4 hours now, and I feel like I just got up, so we will carry on momentarily. I hope you guys stick around. We'll be right back. right. Fresh coffee. The cat's fed. Because, you know, that's got to come first. For anything else. Cat wants to eat. Cat's got to eat. Alright, so... looks like I've turned what actually could be a 10-minute procedure into almost an hour. So... yeah, if anybody can do that, it's me. Let's see. Alright, so let's go add our wonderful little magazine rack. I just want to make sure that I've got my... everything else is locked here. That's not locked. We want to add that. Alright, so let's just go search for the magazines. So, one thing I learned early on is filtering for things is your friend. The problem is there's so many damn records in this game that you got to know what you're looking for. And the first few times I tried playing with this goofy creation kit, I had no idea what I was looking for. Because nothing is named what it should be. Like if you... I want to find a static magazine. Alright, so you have static magazine rack, but no actual magazines. No. What we were looking at earlier... they're high poly Awesome Tales 04. So unless you actually know that high poly is part of the object name, you're never going to find it. So it does take some getting used to. And it took some getting used to figuring out what categories things were in, because you've got the statics, you've got containers and furniture. Magazine racks are in furniture. I'm not sure why there's a copy of everything in here. Wonder if those are vanilla or not. No, they must be vanilla, because if I made these copies, they'd have an asterisk next to them. So those have got to be vanilla. I've noticed that. There's a lot of copies of things still left over in the creation kit. And a lot of things with typos, too. There's, I've come across several objects that whoever created it didn't spell it right, which makes it really, really hard to find them when you're searching for it. And I can never remember which one of these is which here. Nope, that's not the one we want. We are going to add this guy right here. Nice, nasty, rusty magazine rack. Let's see. Anybody... I'll catch up on chat here real quick. Oh, looks like I didn't miss anything. Alright. Oh, Hentai Girl says it's 1 a.m. here in Mel. Oh, okay, Hentai Girl. I didn't know that you were... I was wondering where you were. Well, greetings, hello, down under. Let's see. Adama says, I still think the Raider and Dog Outside Sanctuary, the Test Tunes dev... Yeah, there's a lot of things that I think that they left in and should have taken out. That stupid scrap all command being one of them. But yeah, that and the fact that they're always that they never go away, they never despawn. So let's grab our happy little container, just drag it in, and let's see. Do I have? All right. That's one thing with an interior cell, is that, or any cell rather, sometimes the objects are not on a perfect alignment. So let's turn that off. What I'm going to do, if you want to match the alignment of something, this is kind of the way I do it. Just open up a reference next to it or something you want to match. Go into the 3D data for that. I don't know which one we want to go here. Which? Nope, it's the Y. Nope, that's position. I want rotation. Alright, so we want the Z rotation on that. Tell it's been a while since I've done this. I'll just copy the Z value for that. Paste it in there. Bam. Now they are perfectly on the same axis. Same rotation axis. Drop that into position. Kind of get it a little closer to the wall here. Alright, so that should be good. That's a good place for that. Turn the markers back on, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to drag this nav cut marker. I'm just going to extend it over the top of the magazine rack, so that any NPC now should not try and walk into that corner. That should be good for that. That's it. Stream's over. Good night. No. That's it. That's the only change we're going to make. Just add that magazine rack. And that took an hour, because it's me. So I guess what we can do now is, that's big update, guys. Big update. What we'll do is we'll jump into the game again. I'll COC into the cell. Go drop a couple magazines in it, make sure it works. It really should, but you always need to test stuff. And then I'll export the ESP. Yeah, good job. Thanks. You know, it took all a night of planning and prepping to do that update, so... we'll jump into one of my actual characters that I have in Nuka World, and we'll go test it out. And she's already been into the Fizztop Grille, but should be fine going in and testing that as a new reference. So let's make sure I saved it. And you always want to make sure you save. There's been plenty of times where I've gone to test something in a game and I don't see the change, and come to find out because I never saved the ESP. So let's switch sources again here. We'll get the game started. Switch sources here. We'll jump back into the cell and take a look. Provided the game actually wants to load this time. There we go. Dama says, Resurrect. Oh, you're talking about those, Yeah, Colin brings up a good point. Resurrect is hit or miss. And a lot of times, unless an NPC was already alive, Resurrect won't work. I can show you an example. When you find a corpse or something like that, they are an NPC, but there's a flag that's applied to them that just marks, it says starts dead. I can show you that. So if they're marked as starts dead, there's no way Resurrect is going to work, because as far as the game's concerned, they were never alive. But Colin's absolutely right. Resurrect is hit or miss. Every time I've tried it, it's kind of like Pet Cemetery. They come back to life, but they're never quite the same. Either their AI gets broken, you can't interact with them, there's always something wrong with them. So let's jump back into that for so it's Hub, Fizztop, Grille 01. We can actually go take a look at those guys if you want. We'll go jump into that cell if I can figure out which one it is, and we can actually see how those guys are marked, but I'm going to assume that they're marked as starts dead. Okay, so here we are in the cell. There's our magazine rack. We can interact with it. So what we're going to do, I'm going to actually, since this is the character I just spawned in from the main menu, the only thing he's equipped with is jumpsuit. Now if I do this right, when I'm testing mods, I have a series of batch files that I set up, basically just text files with some form IDs in them. And I can run the batch command on it, and it'll add those items to my inventory. It's basically just a list of player.add2 commands for various things. And I have one for, it's called equip, if I can spell it right. Yep. And basically it adds, jump into an inventory here, full set of combat armor, some weapons, some basic aid items, and a few magazines. This way I can go into a cell, I can test things out with this character, because you want to test on a either a clean save or a save where you've never been into a cell before. Especially when you run into the situation with persistent items that get baked into your save. Let's see. Cheesy Gamer 69, hello. Love your videos and mods, keep it up. Well, thank you. Thank you, I appreciate that. Thanks for stopping in and saying hello. So we've got a few magazines here. Oh yeah, and 10,000 caps. Because, you know, I can. So let's drop all these in the magazine rack here. Now, I know it's going to work, but you got to test stuff. Because the minute you don't test something, somebody says, oh, this doesn't work. And then you have to go, oh, you know, I didn't test that. Maybe it doesn't work. And then you find out that it does work. And they're just, you know, not being truthful. And, yep. So we have magazines. And, so it works. Yeah. Alright. So it works on that character. Or this, you know, this test character. The final test will be to let's go and test it on an actual character that I have been into the cell, an active character in the game. So we're going to quit out of this. I always use the command of the console to quit because one of the things that, one of the updates they added and I really don't like is the autosave, the exit save. I don't like that. I don't like using quick saves on my game. It's something that I got into in the older, like in Fallout 3. Autosaves, quick saves can get corrupted a lot more easily than an actual full save, like going to the actual save command. And it's too easy to reload one of those autosaves, so I always quit by opening the console, hitting QQQ, and bam, game quits. Switch back to the desktop here, because I don't think you guys want to look at a blank and empty screen. So we're going to quit the CK. We are done with that for the time being. We have to do a little file maintenance. What I have set up, the Fallout 4 we were just using, is my development installation. I have this installation on my C drive that I use for my mods, to create mods with. And over on my games drive, let's hop over to this. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Fallout 4 installations that I all use for different purposes. So what we need to do is I need to go and basically install, just like installing a new mod. The update I just did, I need to install it on one of my other, actual gameplay installations. So what I do is I basically just some file shuffling. Oh, I have Nexus Mod Manager open. Uncheck that. I still use Nexus Mod Manager for my development install because I want everything, when I'm making mods, I want my meshes, my textures, everything accessible from my data folder. When I'm actually playing a game, I don't want anything in here, which is why I use Mod Organizer for my actual gameplay. There's an F4C mod called Exit Save Killer. Really? I'm going to have to look into that. Thank you very much for that, fellow addict. I was wondering why nobody had made one, and I never actually thought to search for it. Thanks for that. I'm going to go check that out. Alright, so now I quit that. Odd thing that, you know, you can't rename a folder while a mod manager's reading from it. Go figure. So we'll rename that. And I'll jump over to my other... So, like, this is the installation for Olivia's playthrough for the Let's Play series. This is Sebastian's playthrough for the streams. And these are just random ones for other things. So we are going to use this one, even though it's labeled new, it's not new. The character is probably about a year and a half old at this point. And then I go and I have save folders set up for every character. I don't like mixing them because it's too easy for me to screw things up, especially when I'm testing mods. So I have that set up for that, and then we'll open this one up for this. And something that I don't think is actually necessary, but I do anyway, is I go into my app folder, or app data folder. In the plugins TXT folder that Nexus Mod Manager uses, I'm 99% sure it does not get read by Mod Organizer, but I always rename it just as a precaution. Not that I have anything, I can't, you know, it's just for development. I usually only have one mod open at a time. It's just a habit I've gotten into. I did have something get really screwed up one time and had to revert to an older mod list. So it's just probably a sacred cow. I don't actually need to do that, but I do it anyway. So now what I've got is I have this other Fallout 4 installation active, but I need to make a new zip file for what we just did. And the other reason I didn't want to do any other changes is I did not want to have to make a new archive. What am I looking for here? So essentially what I'm going to do is copy... Where's my... Okay, Fizztop Grille Enhancements. We want, that's the backup one. I don't want that one. I didn't want to have to worry about adding anything new as far as like textures or meshes or anything. I just wanted to just make the ESP change and that's it. So what we're going to do is going to copy all these files over to my file archive where I have all my mods stored. And we're going to make a new folder here. I'm just going to temporarily rename this right now. Just enough to stick these in here. So there's the ESP that we just edited. No changes to the textures. I really didn't want to have to mess around with the precombines or anything either. So I'm going to grab this. We are going to call this Fizztop 2.1. Not that it's really a big change, but just for Nexus. Just for Nexus, if you... it has issues if you don't properly put a version on some things. Like if you just make a change to a simple change but keep the same version of it, I found out that it will actually, in certain cases, it'll actually still continue to serve the old one. I did that and it was like, I think it was on the Starlight Storeroom. I didn't change the version on it, on the file name, and come to find a week later, the people were still downloading the old file that I had wanted to replace that had a bit of a boo-boo in it. So always increment your version file, your version of your files when you're uploading an update to Nexus. So I'm just going to make a new 7-zip file here. That should just take a second. Let's see. Henry Will says, I found if you have the Pip-Boy open, you hit escape, you get a prompt saying the quick save is disabled. Oh, see, I didn't know that either. All right, cool. That's another trick. Maybe I did know that. That sounds familiar. I'll give that a try too. But then to me, you have to do, it sounds like you have to do a couple keyboard things, although it's probably 6 at one, half dozen of the other. Hitting the tilde key, opening the console, hitting QQQ, and then enter. Yeah, it's probably about the same. But I like that method too. I'm going to give that a shot. Okay. So we have our new zip file. So what I'm going to do now is we are going to go and add that to my mod manager in this installation, which, like an idiot, I installed into the root game folder and never fixed. And I probably should do that. Probably should update mod organizer too. It's 3 updates behind on this one. This is a character I started. She's ancient. She's only at level 40 before I abandoned her for doing the videos and stuff. Alright, so we have to go and find out that new one that we just did, which is Fizztop. Where are you, Fizztop? And we're going to call this 2.1. And I love MO2 because you can just sort and filter your mods. So we're going to disable 2.0, we're going to enable 2.1, and that should, yep, that's, oh, thanks for putting the link in there, TC. I did put it in the description if that's to the Fizztop Grille. Appreciate you putting that in the chat there. Thank you, sir. You wear that blue wrench well. So I think we're good to go. We have that loaded up, and let's jump into the game and go test this out. And I'm pretty sure this character, I think I left her at my Overboss hideaway. I think that's where I left off with her last weekend. I had been to Nuka with her before, but I wanted to come over and take a look at the Luxor 8071 did a landscape overhaul and some texture overhauls for Nuka World. I wanted to check those out. Why are all the locks you pick and clean so unscratched? Clean and unscratched. Because I like that texture. Alright, so yep, Alexis Overboss Hideaway, that's the one we're going to use. I'm going to turn my frame rate counter on. Yeah, level 45 she's at right now. I have no idea what I did with her. Other than, I don't think I've been to Far Harbor with her yet. Or have I? Maybe I have. No, I don't think I had. No, Far From Home. I haven't even been to Far Harbor with her yet. Alright, so we are here in the Overboss Hideaway. I thought I had Kate with me. Where's Kate? Oh, there's... No, that's Heather. There's Dog Meat. I thought Kate was here. Oh, there's Kate. Alright, we do have Kate. Alright, so let's get Dog Meat. We'll head on outside.
Hey. Come on.
The reason I did never kind of backtrack, just in case the person that suggested putting that magazine rack in Fizztop Grille is watching, I put 2 magazine racks here at the Overboss Hideaway, and I never used them. So when I was working on Fizztop, oh, hi, Dog Meat. That was a nice jump from up there. I never even thought about putting one in the Fizztop, because honestly, I spend more time in Nuka World here than I do out there. So, but I thought it was a good idea. Let's head on out into the Nuka Worlds, and maybe you guys will get to hear the New Vegas desert exploration music that I added, because that's a thing. I modded in the desert exploration music from Fallout New Vegas into this. Alright, so pretty sure I've been through here already, cleared this out. So we'll just wander on over to Nuka World USA. Woodchopper 1, hello! I'm doing well, thank you. How are you? Thanks for stopping in and saying hello. Glad you could make the stream. Actually getting close to the end of it here, but I'm glad you could stop in. You see, on my old machine, see, they even still I get a little bit of... Oh, you know what? Because I'm streaming. I'm streaming on the old codec for this. That's right. So I'm getting... Actually, it's not too bad. My old rig, I would get down to about 50-ish. Looking at this. Everything you go through the gauntlet is an exterior cell.
I have given up trying to sell alternative medicine products to doctors.
It's kind of
I'm a scam artist. Idiots.
Kind of an FPS killer. And even though I'm streaming with the old codec, the software encoding, it's actually pretty good. Because I was using the hardware encoding on the stream last night. I got that already. Alright, so here we are in Nuka Town. Damn Nuka-Cola song stuck in my head again. Damn Nuka-Cola song stuck in my head again.
Well, hello there, young...
Oh, I suppose let's take a, remember what the hell she's wearing her. Ah, this is Alexis, my level 42 character, wearing Ellie's skimpy raider armor, the, painted combat helmet. Oh, I guess I still have the Cappy glasses on. Alright. That's cool.
Sometimes you gotta ask yourself, how high were they when they built?
Parched from lack of water. Yeah, I always get a little bit of a dip here, even more so when streaming.
Damn Nuka-Cola song
Stuck in my head again. I was hoping she'd say that. So hopefully, just that one little change won't hurt anything.
It sure beats spending your whole life
Gage out here being Gage.
Just to wind up eating a bullet.
The landscape textures that Luxor 8071 did for Nuka World are fan-frickin-tastic. They're awesome. Alright, so we still have all our exterior changes here from the mod. There's the bed. The sorting container still where it should be. So let's oh, hi Kate. Let's jump inside and check out our magazine rack. I think I have some magazines on in her inventory we can try out. And there's our happy little magazine rack, where it should be. I know I picked up a scav magazine last time too. Let's try and see what I have here. I actually had some other ones on me. Okay, there's scav. Is that it? Nope. I got that one, that one, that one. And it looks like that's all my magazines. And there we go. 4 happy little magazines. Take all those back. And I will do some more testing here, but for sake of the stream, let's do our TPC again. Do it twice. Pre-culling is now enabled, so we did not break our precious little pre-combines. And everything else is exactly how I left it. So I guess that's a pretty good test.
This place is filthy.
Oh, thanks, Kay. I got rid of so much. You should have seen it before. I got rid of all the garbage on the floor. Everything else is right where it should be. I've got all my... Alright. Well, I will do some more testing of this off stream before I go ahead and upload that. So I'm going to do some more testing. I got to take some new screenshots of that corner, do the update the README file, and then hopefully I'll have that up to the Nexus end of the day. And yeah, I went and got my first few recipe books on this character. So I guess that's it for this part. If unless somebody else wants to have any questions or anything, I'm probably going to wrap things up here momentarily. I'd forgotten how cool those Cappy glasses look with that that helmet. That looks pretty awesome. Actually, I got a little bit of time before I have to stop. If you guys want, you guys were talking about the raider and the dog over there at over by Red Rocket. We can go see how those are set up in the world. If you guys want, if there's something else you want to look at, if you want to banter about something else for a few minutes, but that may be kind of cool. You guys see how that's set up in the world, so in the CK. Yes, no, maybe. All right, so we'll quit out of here. So that works. I'm pretty happy with that. You know, it was such a laborious task that it took almost an hour and a half, but we got there. All right, let's quit out of this, and we'll switch back to the desktop video. Now I should have a CK set up for this. I don't need to switch back. I have a CK install set up here, so we'll just use this one. Henry Wilson says, "Like to see it." Yes. Okay. I guess the eyes have it. I'm curious myself. I've never actually seen, looked at that part of the cell there. Yeah, every time I switch install folders, it wants me to ask that I really want to do it. Alright, so this shouldn't take long since I don't have any external assets in my data folder, and we're only going to load up the Fallout 4 ESM. We'll take a quick look at that. And we can actually see how they're set up in the actor records too. As even a dead NPC is going to have an actor record. You can go and look at that. The subway announcers. You're in the subway. The voice you hear on the loudspeaker, those have NPCs. This is the way the game engine's set up. You have to have, even if it's a recorded voice, you have to have an NPC for it. It kind of goes like, if you look in the GEC for Fallout New Vegas, the end scene with the slideshow, there's actually a cell for that. That's actually a cell that in Ron Perlman's character that does narration, there's an NPC for him. Red Eye, the DJ for Nuka World, there's an NPC for him. Actually, probably could load that up and look at that, but we'll just go look at this for now. So yeah, anybody that has like a voice, there's basically an NPC for. How do you have two instances of Fallout 4 in the same drive? Well, actually they're on different drives, but Well, actually, I'll go back for a second. I have probably 6 on the OneDrive. They're just named differently. Who's asking this here? Woodchopper. They're just named differently. And when I want to load one up, I just rename it. And I actually have, I use Mod Organizer 2, and I have a local installation of Mod Organizer and all my mods in each folder. They're portable. So here's my Mod Organizer for my live streams, and all my mods for the live streams are in that folder. So if I ever need to back this up, I can just, actually I do this kind of semi-regular basis. I'll back all these up to an external drive. So if anything ever happens, I have archives I can go back to. And when I rebuilt this machine, or built this new machine, I literally just copied all my Fallout 4 instances from the old machine, and I didn't have to reinstall anything. Although for the live stream is a brand new install of the, well, at the time it was 1.10.120. They've since come out one of their goofy Creation Kit updates, which I will not be updating until I actually have to. But essentially I just renamed the folders is all, and each one has a different purpose. So we are Fallout 4 ESM loaded up. We got to get into the Commonwealth. Now, interior cells all have their own selection there. Commonwealth, Good Neighbor, Sanctuary, Diamond City, they're all their own world spaces. We'll go into the Commonwealth. Paul Stead says, NCR Trooper, NCR. Hello, welcome, NCR Trooper. Paul Stead says, wanted to make my own mods but complete newbie. What would suggest a good place to start? Armors, homes. Start with something simple, Paul. Even if it's just like a texture, you learn the basics first. Do like a simple retexture for something. If you want to get into doing armors or homes, I would suggest maybe taking an existing mod and making a change to that. Just kind of feel your way around for how things are set up. Take a look at existing cells. Kind of look at how things are set up, reverse engineer things. I think the first quote mod I ever did was, I think it was a player home. I don't know if it was Eleanor's or whose it was. I just made a couple quick changes to that. Oh, I want to move this desk over here, or I want to add a different bed. Just that kind of thing. Keep it small and simple until you learn the basics. The biggest problem I see, I'm going to call it a mistake because it turns more people off the mod than anything else, is coming up with, oh, I want to do one of these DLC size overhaul mods, and I'm going to do all new gameplay mechanics, and when you don't even know how to change a texture yet. You got to start small and build your way up. So start small, learn some of the basics, and then every time you do something new, build on it. And you learn something new, apply that, and then the next project, take what you've learned and just build on that and challenge yourself to do something new. But definitely start out small. It's really easy to get frustrated. It's really easy to get carried away. So here we are, Red Rocket EXT. I think that's the closest named cell that that I know of that we can go to. It's right outside. Gurgith, hello. Is Bethesda still supporting the Fallout 4 Creation Kit with patches, etc., or they have abandoned it? I think that somebody on the Nexus forums, on the mod authors forum, had mentioned that there was a recent update to the CK, and it broke their script installations. It broke the path to their scripting. So I think right after that that last Creation Club update came out, I think there was an update. I am still using the next to last version, 1.10.15. And I'm going to guess that they updated the CK because of there's probably some new keywords or some sort of functionality in the Creation Club updates that prompted them to do that. So I say that they would only update the CK when there was something relating to the Creation Club. So here's the outside of the Red Rocket, and I don't remember the last time I had these. Looks like this is a random encounter for some dogs. I don't remember the last time seeing those. But here is, you guys can see the cell here. Your sanctuary over the bridge. And these are just the puddle markers here. This, what is this? A marker flag. It's attached to a ref or something. Nope, that's not what we want. this is linked to something. Okay. So this is part of, this is some script. This is attached to maybe a quest reference or something, a quest alias. No idea. Oh, I'd help if I have the window. So here is our... Oh yeah, look at the coat in the air. Yep. So here's our drifter. And here's our dog. And you can see, okay, the encounter vicious dog template. Now when you select them, you can kind of see this ghosted white, or this ghosted green rather, instance here. That's, I think that's like their default skeleton or something. So when you open up the reference here, every item in the world has a reference. This is the reference. What's referred to in the object window, those are the forms. And when you drag something into a cell, it's called a reference. And if you look over here on the reference for this dog, it says starts dead. And don't have it subtle, which means it's not going to have any physics on it. And the same thing for our loot dead raider. He starts as dead and don't have it subtle. And default add item on load. What does this do? So he has a script attached to him, which, let's see. Place object reference. Place an object reference. Place an actor or container that will add the selected item on load. Okay. So this is very well why this guy doesn't respawn. Well, his flag is checked to respawn here. Grayed out means it's actually on the base object, the form ID. But yeah, there's those guys there. Let me just catch up on chat real quick. When you do the slaver run in 3, you get all your karma back with 4 to 5 $100 donations to the church if you really feel bad. Okay. Yeah, I've never done the raider or the slaver run before. So I thought that might be interesting to do. So this is actually, yep, that's actually a tire iron. So that's any NPC that starts dead like this, it's just a flag that starts dead. Which is why the resurrect or, you know, the resurrect command is never going to work on them. So let's can actually go take a look at them in the form IDs here real quick. So loot dead raider, come over to the actor records. These are every NPC in the game. And a lot of things are built from just standard templates that you can duplicate and make your own NPCs from. I've done that for vendors and whatnot. But pretty much anybody here, and if you have... Yes, the radio subway announcer has an NPC. The guy that tells you to stay off the tracks. Next train will be arriving at the station in minutes. That guy, this is him. Every NPC that has every voice that you hear in the game has to have an NPC attached. It's just that's how the game engine works. Goes all the way back to probably Oblivion, but I think 3 was probably the first one to have the disembodied voices. It's still a thing. And talking about the dismemberment, every NPC you look at in the actor records is going to have their neck like this. Every single one of them. You place them into the world, they have the beheading seam line there. Elevator announcer, yep. We look at elevator. Yep, elevator operator right here. Yep, there he is. Oh no, wait a minute. That's I'm sorry. That's from Vault 81. Elevator announcer. This is the one we want. Yep. No close. The voice type, announcer, elevator voice. Every NPC will have a voice type attached to them depending on their role. And AI data. Yeah, see, they have basically no AI packages. They are just stuck in a cell someplace. I think. Okay, it doesn't show them in a cell. Info form. Let's see where this is. Oh, okay, it's part of a quest. So he gets, Alright, I really, really don't know how this questing stuff actually works. It's one thing I've kind of avoided getting into just because it's very painful. But this is basically, the story build here in the, there's an actual quest for those elevators. It tells you going up, going down. So, yep. So, there's the elevator announcer. And, that's pretty much it. Radio voice. Gunner conscript. DN125, I don't know. That's got to be some sort of script or some sort of quest. But any voice you hear on the radio is going to have an NPC attached to it. Radio Institute Patrol, Radio Subway Announcer. Saying if you open up the Nuka World DLC, Red Eye has an NPC and he's stuck in a cell someplace. So that's pretty much that. I had the NPC World Toaster. Did NVZ Toaster was my favorite. I cannot wait to go do Old World Blues. The only New Vegas DLC I've ever done is Lonesome Road. I've never done any of the others, so I'm really looking forward to doing that. I guess that's, I think I'm going to call it here, guys. Unless anybody has something absolutely dying to go take a look at in the CK. I think I'm going to call things here. Go make some lunch, get that mod uploaded to the Nexus. If you guys are using the Fizztop Grille enhancements, I should have that update loaded up by the end of the day. Unless you really need a magazine rack, as you've seen, there's really nothing else added to it. So if you are using the mod and you don't want to update, you're not going to be missing much other than a goofy little magazine rack that took a half an hour and a half to add. But yeah, I'm going to call things here. And thank for everybody for stopping in. This has been a lot of fun. You guys sat through almost 2 hours of my rambling. And I think I need lunch. I feel like I did at the end of the stream last night. I'm starting to kind of fade here. But, well, thanks, TC. I'm glad you enjoyed it. And I'll probably do more of these, just kind of random little things. I thought about doing, as I'm working on mods, but I just, I think I wouldn't get any work done. I would just start rambling and showing you guys stuff, and I'd never actually get any work accomplished. So, if I'm going to do CK streams, it's going to be just a little one-off, just, hang out and chill kind of things like this. So this was a lot of fun. But thanks to everybody for watching. I appreciate it. And I may be streaming Fallout 3 tomorrow. I want to. I really, really want to play. I'm kind of jonesing to play some more 3. It all depends on real-world stuff and what else I got going on. But if I do, it's probably going to be around 1 p.m. my time, if I can swing it. Not long, just for a couple hours. So look to that if I am able to do it. But yeah, that's great. I'm really glad this was popular. I was hoping people didn't have anything better to do on a Saturday than listen to me blabber for an hour and a half. But thanks again for everybody for stopping in. And even if you couldn't stay for the whole stream, I really appreciate just popping in and saying hello. It means a lot. It means a lot that people are interested enough in this stuff to keep coming in, saying hello, and subscribing. And thanks to Mr. Goodwrench, as always, for posting those links in the stream. Very much appreciate it. And until next time, guys, enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Possibly we'll see you tomorrow. No promises, but if I don't, we'll see you again soon. Thanks again, guys. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you later.